Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Welcome if you are rejoining my channel. My name is Marissa Price. I am a social worker, healer, freelance educator, sharing my authentic story to help us collectively heal. And this space is for Black women specifically, healing from trauma, processing what we've been through, sharing resources with each other. Yes, I would love if you subscribe to my channel. If you are watching this on the replay, if you're here live, welcome. So this is just about transforming pain into passion. And this is something I did, right? So if you are not on the waitlist already for the Job Liberation Virtual Summit for Black women coming up May 16th through 18th, please get on the waitlist here and I'll link in the chat too. And this is really a representation of how I transformed a very painful, traumatic work experience into something that has helped a lot of people. And I don't take that for granted at all. 300 Black women attended last year in 2024. And the stories that we have heard, I co-hosted with Dr. Kamani of Lifting As We Climb Consulting on YouTube. The stories that we've heard about the lives that have been transformed through the summit. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Nubia Gold. Yes, I recently found your channel and absolutely love your content. Currently dealing with an extremely narcissistic and toxic work environment that is testing my limits, but I'm hanging in there. Wow, I'm so sorry. Thank you for sharing that. And yes, you deserve better than that, right? You deserve better. That's something I'm going to be talking about because we are presented with toxicity so often as our only option. Hey, Lydia. Good to see you here. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Yes. But yeah, we are presented with that, right? That we just have to tolerate this treatment in the workplace. And we can't talk about this without talking about the current political climate, right, in the US and how Black women are being specifically targeted so often in these workplaces. The experience that I had, when did that start? It became toxic. So it definitely was not toxic when it started, which is the case for a lot of us in toxic work environments. It was about 2 years into it, I would say, a year and a half, 2 years, that it became really toxic when I started working with someone else who was very insecure, very insecure. And the phenomenon, like from pet to threat, that Black women experience in the workplace so often, coined by 3 Black women professors. We come in with our skill set, with our knowledge that we bring into the job that we are recruited for, excelling at what we're doing, right? And then someone's insecurity is triggered. And then all of a sudden you have a target on your back. And the target can get even bigger the more skills that you gain, which is very confusing. Because we're often told, like, if someone's mistreating you, it's something that you're doing, right? Which is a lie. It's a lie that we're told, like, from such an early age. But it's not, right? And part of healing for me has been externalizing what I experienced in the workplace. The reason that we're targeted often is because we're so powerful. We have so many skills, we have so many talents, we have so many gifts. And just to think of like the foundations of the US specifically, right? That is an affront to a lot of people when we come into the workplace with all these things that we carry inherently. And people are triggered by that. And so the target on our back grows even bigger, and it's not fair, right? It's not fair. It's not right. You do not deserve that treatment. There may be people around you like saying that you do, right? Even not explicitly, but by not intervening, which was the case for me, seeing what was happening to me and no one spoke up. So it can feel very isolating, which is like a tactic of abusers, right? So it's really like getting into communities like this one, hopefully like showing if you're in a toxic work environment that is not you, it is the environment. And so I really thank you for being here and sharing that with me. Thank you. Yes, I said hello, Lydia. Thank you for joining again. Lorana Hughes, good afternoon. Thank you for joining. Hey, Fiat. Where'd my mouse go? There we go. Good to see you here, as always. Colette! Y'all, please subscribe to Colette's channel as well, who talks about toxic work environments. Hello from Cali. I'm so glad I made it to a live. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, I got to make a note to follow up with Colette. Yes. And Colette's channel was pivotal in helping me realize that I was in a toxic work environment because I had no idea. I thought this was just par for the course, which is what we're taught so often, right? When you're in a work environment, people, first of all, you're going to hate it probably. That was kind of the assumption that I had going into it. You're going to hate what you do every single day until hopefully you make it to 65. You're going to deal with bullies in the workplace, right? It's just an assumption that we have. And it's like part of healing is challenging that assumption. Why do we have that? Why are we told that? Why are we told that we have to expect to be harmed for a paycheck? That doesn't make any sense. When this is literally taking years off of our lives, this is this serious. It's not just a job, especially in the US, when work is the focus of our lives, right? We're spending like the majority of our lives often in these workplaces. And so if you're experiencing abuse, mistreatment, harm in the workplace, what effect does that have on your health? It's not a small impact at all. And a lot of us like sharing our stories now, like Colette, right, are like pushing back on that narrative. No, you shouldn't have to expect that going into work. No. Yes, you are talented. Yes, you are skilled. And in fact, the more skills you gain, like I said, it makes a target on your back even bigger, which is confusing, which is disorienting. Because you've spent all of these years, often, all of this time accumulating your skill set, building it up because they lied to us and tell us that the more skills that we have, the more accepted we will be. Right? I think we see now, it's pretty clear that's false. And so letting that lie go is painful because we're taught that this is the route to acceptance, which we should already be afforded just because we're here. We shouldn't have to earn our worth, our respect, all these things that we're taught because it never comes. And we're being harmed, right, left and right in the workplace, trying to constantly seek approval, which I just talked about at Project U, the virtual summit I talked at. Seeking approval, right, for things that we should have. We should just have by virtue of being here, of being a human being on earth, period, no matter what you do. So yes, if you are in the process of planning your exit, or if you're not even there yet, if you just know that something doesn't feel right in this work environment, and especially now, like the fear that's being generated, right, with the state of the economy, that you have to just tolerate disrespect, abuse, right, being talked down to, being underpaid, being undervalued. Not everyone receives that message, right, which is lets me know that that's oppression. If it's not the same message across the board, that is oppression at work. It's only been given to a few of us, right? Particularly Black women in the workplace, that we just have to endure, that we have to put up with it. Why? Why? And just sitting with that question, right? Maybe a pathway to healing that has been healing for me. Why did I receive this messaging? Right? Why did people feel like it was okay to treat me this way, to mislead me? And I did work in a DEI style position, right? Which we see the downfall of DEI in the US, and DEI's diversity, equity, and inclusion. We see Black women, and specifically in these roles, being fired, who have invested so much time, right? Personal experience, because you're also incorporating your lived experience into your job, which is exhausting, to try to make things better for other people because you see that there's a problem that's clear as day, right? And we see the lies that are being told to us, and they're just being revealed. And so we're in that stage of clarity. Shout out to Coach Yolanda, who I talk with on my channel about preparing for 2025. It's a moment of clarity, right? All the things that we have known, that we have felt, something is off, right? You're lying, you're misrepresenting, you're co-opting language You're bringing us in, right, to often be the face of these initiatives that you're not putting into practice in good faith. And we're seeing the effects of that in real time. And so it's been a lot. It has been a lot. Hey, Ayabo, good to see you. I'm so grateful to see young women take control of your lives and your futures in the ways that you are. As a 71-year-old retired educator, these were not conversations my generation had. Wow. I always appreciate you being here. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. Yes. That means a lot to me. That means a lot to me. Yeah. And YouTube has been such a powerful platform, right? YouTube has a lot of issues. So I'll start there. It has a lot of issues, but it has been a very powerful platform to build community, right? YouTube was a place where I found out, shout out to Dr. Kamani, who I'm co-hosting the Job Liberation Virtual Summit, second annual coming up. Yeah, on the wait list here. I came across her channel, right, in trying to understand what was happening to me in the workplace. I had done everything that everyone told me to do, right? I got the degree. I got the master's degree in the area of specialization. I had the internships, of practicum experience because I was coming from the field of social work and economic development. I had everything that everyone told me that I needed. And yet I still encountered this person who was deeply insecure and triggered by what I was bringing into the workplace, right? And it sent me right back into childhood trauma, being bullied once again. And so me having to like bring myself once again out of this toxic environment, right? That's not fair. And a lot of us experience this. And it is just through YouTube, right? Dr. Kalani, Colette, Elizabeth, their channels of bravely sharing their stories of what they went through in toxic work environments that let me know, oh, it's not just me. No, I'm not doing too much, right? Yes, I do have an agenda, which is what a comment that was made to me by the insecure person I was working with. Yes, I do have an agenda. I absolutely do, right? Black freedom, which is what I was brought in to do, which again was a lie. And so just to see Black women in DEI positions being harmed, especially during these times, left and right, it's triggering, right? Because I went through the exact same thing, being brought in after the murder of George Floyd to lead a racial equity agenda, and the organization not being ready, prepared for honesty. And so me having to rebuild myself after that experience, coming onto a platform like YouTube, right? Starting my own business, freelancing with other Black women who get it, who are also building digital businesses to reclaim narratives, to reclaim your skill set out of these toxic work environments. That has been the biggest blessing that I could not have predicted, right? And so, yeah, YouTube, shout out to YouTube, which kind of started this whole journey that I've been on over the past like 2.5 years of leaving and healing from a toxic work environment, which I'm now helping other Black women do through the Job Liberation Virtual Summit coming up in May, second annual, that I'm co-hosting with Dr. Kamani, which is kind of like a full circle moment, right? Yes. Oh, I love this. Isn't it wonderful to see our little sisters understanding that their peace is priceless? I'm loving it. Oh my gosh. Thank y'all so much. This feels like a hug today. Thank you. I love this. Yes. Absolutely. I have 9 granddaughters, so this warms my heart. I love that. And yeah. Ooh, and that's kind of one of my my things that I would love to do is to share, right, with especially young Black women coming into work environments, things that I did not know, things that I was not prepared for, the things that I would encounter, because it was kind of sold to me that that was in the past. That was an issue of the past that I didn't even need to like really think about. Right? People had kind of gotten over whatever like evil they had in their system. And yeah, it was kind of a new day. And we're seeing, which is kind of ironic now that we're seeing all these things being rolled back. Two, the time that we were taught was over. Right. And that can be confusing. That can be disorienting too, which is why I've had to go back to a rooting in Black studies and Black history, right? To remind myself, no, none of these things actually went away. They didn't. It is a continuous cycle that looks different over time, but it continues to repeat. And we're experiencing the same things often that people experienced decades ago in the workplace, and it didn't go anywhere. So to prepare young people to enter the workplace of what you might encounter, of how to document what you're seeing, what you're experiencing for future, right, legal cases, if necessary, or to prevent yourself from self-gaslighting, which is doubting your own reality. That's essential. To prepare people to enter the workforce, what might you encounter? Because these things are definitely not in the past. We're seeing it right in our face. Right? It hasn't even been 2 months yet. I had to remind myself of that today. Yeah. Take a sip, y'all. Colette says, it's the best legacy you can give them. I am teaching my two daughters, 27 and 23, and they are embracing it. Yes. Love, love, love it. That's powerful. That's powerful. Yeah. In the community knowledge sharing that exists on YouTube, right? With Black women creators, I haven't seen it before. I really haven't seen anything like this before. And so thank you for sharing that. It's powerful, right? When you're feeling like you're the only one going through anything, I feel like just type it in on YouTube and there will be a Black woman content creator talking about that exact same issue to let you know that you're not alone, right? You're not alone in experiencing a toxic work environment, of healing from trauma, childhood trauma that may have shown up once again in the workplace. Yeah, it's been amazing. Southern Ray 22, hey, good to see you. Hello, I'm Marissa. Hope you're doing well. How did you rebuild your confidence after your toxic job? Ooh, that's a good question. Thank you. I think, freelancing is coming up for me. So being able to transition out of a toxic work environment and go into working with Black women, digital business owners. So working with Dr. Kamani, who I'm co-hosting the summit coming up with, which if you're not on the wait list, please get on the wait list. As my virtual assistant client, Rashida Dow, working with her as a virtual assistant, Kathy Hampton, Sandra from Lack to Legacy, right? So many incredible, Rushni Glamazzini, working with her as well. So many Black women who are creating businesses, which was my area of focus in the job, so economic development. And actually like reflecting back to me that I'm skilled, I'm highly skilled in this area, has been a way that I have rebuilt my confidence versus being in a very white corporate environment where you're having to prove these things. When you work with clients that you select, right, and who select you as a freelancer is kind of mutually beneficial, you're not having to prove that you're good at this thing anymore, right? Jump through hoops, right? Interact with people who you don't really align with. And that's been the beautiful part about freelancing for me, right? Really being able to contribute my talents to missions that align with my values. And having them reflect back to me like, no, you're really good at this. You're really skilled at this. In the stage where I was like really still from the toxicity that I had experienced in that workplace. Inner child healing has been another way I have rebuilt my confidence. So going back to the roots, why did I feel like I had to stay in this environment when I have free will? I have free will, but there were deeper wounds that I have now acknowledged, still in the process of healing from, that started back in childhood, right? That told me either explicitly or undercover, right, that I had to stay in an environment that was harming me for various reasons. And it has been healing those wounds, like getting back to the childhood version of who I was, because that's really me authentically. That's been a way I've recovered my self-confidence. Traveling. So living abroad now, being in Guadalajara at the moment, has been huge to recovering my confidence because, like I said, like the foundations of the US when it comes to how Black women have been treated for centuries, right, in the workplace. And before we had the consent, as our ancestors were enslaved, right, the way that we have been regarded for centuries in the US, as we should expect harm, mistreatment, as people can get their rage out on us and we're just supposed to take it. That has been a way to help me recover my confidence, right? Realizing the history behind what I experienced. Because that also helps to externalize what you're going through. This is a historical pattern over time that has been replaying when it comes to Black women's labor in the US. Yeah, and it's really egregious, right? Reading narratives of Black women who were enslaved and seeing the things that have carried through to what we're hearing from people who have attended the summit, the Job Liberation Virtual Summit, in the workplace, sometimes Black women being physically harmed in the workplace. It's a lot. And the more that you're able to externalize what you're experiencing, right? It's not anything that you're doing. You are brilliant. You have all the skills. You deserve to be treated well. But it's these messages within this oppressive society that tells us that we should expect something different, that we shouldn't expect to be paid adequately. And I'm going to talk about like the wage gap, right? The gender wage gap, and then adding onto that, like the racial wage gap, intersectionality that Black women encounter in the workplace. Yeah, so externalizing what I experienced has helped me also reclaim my self-confidence. I hope that was helpful. Lorana says, yes, these conversations feel relevant to all the generations because there are those in each generation, yes, that are still experiencing this kind of hurt. Not too old, not too late. Yes, that's so important. Yes. Yeah. And we're actually going to have a bonus masterclass with the summit for Black women over 50 plus, pivoting from toxic jobs, because that's a narrative, right? In this oppressive society, that it's too late for you to escape toxicity. No, as long as you're here, you deserve to live well. And it's never too late. It's never too late. That is a narrative. That is a lie that is fed to us. Right? And it is bolstered by these institutions that absolutely do ageist practices when it comes to hiring, right? Firing people. It's a lot, right? And the core of it, the root of it, is an oppressive society that was never supposed to be. Thank you for that comment. Yeah. Currently working in a medical clinic as a tech to pay for my nursing program. My trainer is an older woman who has been a tech for over 10 years but has no formal education. She constantly gaslights me, contradicts, presents the training in a convoluted or misleading way so that I'm off track, refers to me as a slow learner, accuses me of failing to use common sense. I am so sorry. Yeah. The manager backs her up. I'm afraid to speak out. Ooh, yes. Yeah, so just to reflect back to you, you're absolutely none of these things that this person is telling you, right? None of these things. And I'm sorry that you're experiencing this, and this is not right. This is not fair, right? Just to say that. And your fear of speaking out is real, right? It's rooted in real things because there are people working in conjunction with each other. One of the things that Colette talks about on her channel, that it's not just this person that you're encountering. This person has a chain of people that are connected to them who are working together to target people often, to gaslight people, to push people out. And it can be very confusing, right? And it can create those feelings of fear about speaking out because they're real. To validate that, yes. And I would say, like, if you can work on your exit strategy, right? It doesn't have to be a week. If you're in a severe environment, right? Experiencing severe health consequences from the workplace, please exit as soon as possible. And I mean that, right? No job is worth your life. No job is worth your life. You can get another job, just like you got this one, right? Remind yourself, how did you get this one? You likely had to go through the interview process, right? The application process, right? And they selected you for this job. The same thing can happen in another job where you're not experiencing toxicity, harm, health impacts. Yeah. Hey, scrolling down. Hey, good to see y'all. Hey, Kyoka. Good to see you. Please subscribe to Kyoka's channel. If you're interested in moving abroad, which I have done, please subscribe to her channel. She has amazing guest interviews about Black people living all across the globe. So you have options outside of the US too. That's another thing that's not taught to us. That we just have to accept the treatment that we are experiencing within one country when there are so many countries in the world. Right? It's oppression limits your options. It tells you that you can only pick from 1 through 5 when everyone else has 500 options to choose from. And so the process of healing, recovering yourself from a toxic job, is kind of opening your own aperture, which is a process over time, but it's like it's needed for you to see that there are so many other things that you can do. You've proven it to yourself. You've demonstrated to yourself over time the different jobs that you've had, different volunteer opportunities, things you're doing for free that people ask for your help with. You've proven to yourself that you can pivot. What makes this time any different? You're still the same person, right? No matter who is telling you what, who often have the agenda, right? Like I said, that was the criticism that was levied at me, that I had an agenda. Yeah, I do have an agenda. And they also have an agenda to break our self-esteem, our self-confidence, our self-worth, to make us feel like this is the only thing that we'll ever do. So we just have to put up with it. False. No. Once you get into community with other, especially Black women YouTube creators, Dr. Kamani, I'll link her channel here too. Please subscribe. Colette Elizabeth, Alicia Renese, Kioka, the Awkward Black Nomad, Leslie Moore. Good to see you here. Yes. There are so many of us out here providing options. Right? To make you or to give you the resources to let you know and to reflect back to you, this is not the only thing that you'll ever do. If you think about how long life is, how many jobs you may have already had. I did a video on this too, right? The tunnel vision that trauma can create, that this is the only thing you'll ever be in, and so you have to endure. Part of healing is realizing that that is a trick of trauma, of oppression. No, it's not. It's one place, right? There are 8 billion people plus in the world. You can go to a different opportunity. You have the skills. They didn't go anywhere. Like I said, no matter if that person can't see it or not, your skills still exist within you. And you have the power and the ownership over your skills to take them to another environment that serves you, that does not harm you, that you don't have to go in fearing someone like physically assaulting you, which is the case that we have heard, right? For Black women who have attended the virtual summit. This is truly like a labor issue. This is a human rights issue. That we are expected to endure harm, mistreatment for 8, 10, 12, 14 hours every single day of our lives. Why? Right? No job is worth your life. I did a video on that too. Like, it's not. And believe me, when you're in it, it can feel like this is it. I just have to endure. And that's when the spiral of anxiety, depression, right? Sometimes even worse can begin. When you feel like you don't have anything other than this. This is just one thing. Out of all the things that you've done, like remind yourself, do a life inventory if that's helpful, right? Comb through all the things that you've done, the skills that you've exhibited, the feedback that you've received from other people. This is not the only thing. Hey, Deb, good to see you here. Yes, so grateful that I found this channel. Oh, so glad you're here. Yes, I couldn't understand why my voice wasn't good enough or heard with resentment from white coworkers and even my Hispanic manager. Yeah, no. Your voice is good enough, always has been enough. Right? And there's something else. I don't know if I want to talk about it here, but like, the lack of allyship, as we're seeing demonstrated, again, blatantly. The things that we knew were happening behind the scenes that are now just like clear as day, which has provided clarity, right? These feelings that we had all along the way of the lack of allyship, of people trying to get in closer proximity to whiteness, right? And viewing us as, oh, let me target her so that I can get closer to the core, right? In a white dominant society. That's real. That's real. Yeah. And so one of the reasons why we created the virtual summit, again, coming up May 16th through 18th, 15 plus Black women speakers, is to provide a safe space for Black women specifically to process trauma that we're experiencing in these workplaces, right? Both Dr. Kamani and I being toxic job survivors of having, self-confidence just put through the ringer. The skills you came in with, now you're questioning them, now you're doubting them because someone has put that seed in there, right? And those seeds are very powerful. And so how can you now uproot what has been placed, right? Because it was never yours to carry. You didn't consent to that. The skills that you came in with did not go anywhere. So it's really like a reclamation of self, right? Self-sovereignty. No matter what workplace that you go into, no matter if you pivot to entrepreneurship, no matter if you retire early, no matter if you take a contract role, the options that exist for you are plenty. But oppression will trick you and say that this is the only thing that you'll ever do. So you better get used to harm, mistreatment, abuse, right? Vestiges of the plantation system. The cycle never ended. Yeah. Hey, Tracy, good to see you. Yes. Yes, please like this. Thank you. Oh, Kyoka. Like I said. Like I said, I don't know if I want to get into it today, but it's real. It's real. Yeah. The lack of allyship, right? In the workplace that I was in. When these comments would come my way, right? How honest do I want to be? But yeah, when these comments would come my way, having people who claim that they were allies be absolutely silent when this person was targeting me. But you want to claim that you're an ally. But you're not willing to put anything on the line that immediately disqualifies you. Right? Allies put something on the line that they're willing to give up, right? Because they see the injustice happening. They're willing to use their voice if it means their job may be in the balance. We can talk about that, though. Let me write that down. Allyship. Yep. Yes, how long life is. That's so important when you're in your 30s and feel like, can we talk about it? When you're in your 30s and you feel like you're running out of time. Again, these lies that are told to us, and thank you for saying this, because for so long I felt like it was just me, right? Having to accomplish everything before the age of 30 or else it didn't count. Squeezing things in, forcing things before I turned 30, this artificial deadline that society had created, or else it didn't count, right? So you're rushing through life trying to do all these things, not taking time to figure out, do I even like this? Do I want to go in a different direction? Do I want to take some time to figure out? The rush. Yes. Life is long. Hey, Donna. Yes, that's a good point. I've proven to myself that I can pivot because of all the jobs I've had. That's it. That's it. And when you're in survival mode, which the society forces us into, to just focus on short term, rush, right? Having your basic needs met. These things should be provided in a society that works well. So we don't have to like constantly be in survival mode to have our basic needs met. That's an aside. But yes, combing through the life experiences that you've had, the jobs that you've had, the things that you volunteer to do, that's your skill set, right? Whether you pivot into entrepreneurship, freelancing, or you get another job, you need to have ownership over your skills. No job has ownership over those. That's the reason they hired you, is because you came in with the skills that you already had. So can you not take those same skills and pivot to any place that you choose? Right? It's really, like I said, self-sovereignty, leaning into that. These skills are mine, taking ownership over them. Whether you recognize them or not is irrelevant. I'm sorry, who are you? Who are you? Because I came into this position, this organization, this title with these skills. They didn't go anywhere. In fact, I actually might have honed them. Despite the work environment being toxic, you may have honed them. You may have gained additional skills that you can now use to pivot to another job opportunity, entrepreneurship, freelancing. Your options are endless. I wish someone had told me that, right? Because, the way oppression literally does this. You have options 1 through 5. Right? Meanwhile, everyone else is being told, no, you actually have like options 1 through 1,000. In any of those, you will excel in. Because you've demonstrated to yourself, you've proven it to yourself time and time again. So yes, it's getting clear on the value, on the things that you provide in any environment that you're in, taking ownership over your skill set, over the things that you've learned, over your gifts that are inherent. A lot of the insecurity in the workplace I've noticed comes from things that people will never be able to do. Because we come in with such brilliant gifts that we have inherited that they'll never be able to touch, right? And it just, it does something, again, similar to the dynamics on a plantation. It does something. But that's not your fault. That someone else's insecurity is triggered by your brilliance. Right? And the solution to that is not shrinking, which is a survival tactic, right? Fawning, which is one of the 4 main trauma responses, fawning. Shrinking, trying to appease your oppressor to survive whatever environment that you're in that's highly toxic, oppressive. So it's giving yourself grace for surviving it, getting through, but making your strategy to get out, knowing that that is not your only option. That's a lie that's being told to you. So that you learn to tolerate and accept mistreatment. You are not here to be mistreated. Right? Just to say that, you are not here to be mistreated. You are not someone's punching bag who had a bad day. Your value is inherent. Your worth is your worth, no matter what you do or what you don't do, no matter what external credentials you have or don't have. You are worthy because you are here. And it's just sitting with that, telling that to yourself over and over again. My worth is inherent. Anyone who doesn't see it, I need to make my exit strategy from that person, from that environment. Yeah, that's a good point. Yes, I've learned work environments abroad tend to be better also. Maybe you could have a happier work life abroad. Options. Options exist. Yes. And just shout out to Black women moving abroad, showing us the options that do exist outside of, a settler colony, right? That is the US, where our ancestors were, many of our ancestors, forcibly brought to, stripped from their homelands. Right? And so and I think we're seeing it clearer and clearer day by day. Again, it's only been less than 2 months since this person got into office, right? But we're seeing all the things that we knew were happening this entire time that people were trying to gaslight us. That's in the past. You don't have to worry about this anymore. They've gotten the evil out of their system. False. Lies. Because why are we continuing to experience this in the workplaces like the hotbed? Specifically for Black women. Right? It's disheartening. Again, we have had Black women attend this summit from across the globe. This is a global issue. This is a global issue of injustice that Black women are experiencing day in, day out in the workplace, being harmed, being bullied, being undervalued, being underpaid, being overworked. When it is our labor that upholds society. One of the tools of oppression is to convince you that you need them when they really need you. And what would happen if we tapped into that power, right? No, you actually need me because I uphold this entire thing. And you think that you can get away with harming me, underpaying me, undervaluing my contributions, stealing my ideas. When it's my labor that upholds this entire thing, so what are we really talking about? Thank you for this, Leslie. Yes, please like, please share. Yes, this is a video if you are a Black woman exiting, healing from a toxic work environment, sharing just how I transformed a very painful, traumatic experience in a job environment into now co-hosting the Job Liberation Virtual Summit with Dr. Kamani of Lifting As We Climb Consulting. Happening the second annual one, happening May 16th through 18th. Please get on the wait list here, also in the description section. But yeah, just realizing that you were not put here to be harmed. And we're sold the lie that this is just what we have to do to get a paycheck. We have to sacrifice our lives, our mental health, our physical health, our dreams, our entire existence, right, as a being for a piece of paper. Why? Because not everyone gets that message. That's right. Yes. Self-sovereignty. Yes. Self-sovereignty, governance over self. I was just watching Yvonne McBride Lit Life, her recent video. And I forget the person she interviewed, but yeah, she was talking about this, right? Self-governance. You govern yourself. You decide where you want to pivot to, where you want to move to, which skills that you want to utilize, which skills you want to hone. That's you. We are taught constantly to seek approval, to seek permission. Again, living within a system of colonization. That is how it's set up. You have to ask the colonizer for approval to do anything. And part of healing is unlearning these really deep messages that we have been taught that are contributing to our oppression, right? To our shrinking, to survive, keeping us in survival mode. It's waking up to the power that exists within you, that has always been there, that never left. Again, even if someone tried to take it from you, the fact that you're still here means it's still there. Your power is still within you. To pivot to something else, to pivot to another job opportunity, right? Freelancing, whatever direction you want to go in. That's up to you. Knowing that you have the power to determine which way that you want to go and not have to ask, is it okay if I do this? There's even a way, like a difference in like the tone of voice when I say those things, right? Is it okay if I go this way, if I do this? Versus, no, this is what I'm going to do. Because this is what I have decided is the path that I want to take. I know the options that are available to me. Shout out to Black women YouTube creators who have shown us so many options that exist for ways to take our lives in that were previously buried, right? Covered, secretive, only told to certain people. Some people get options 1 through 1,000. Some people are handed options 1 through 10. That is oppression. Yeah. Beautiful affirmation. Yes. Your options are limitless. They are. They are. And it's really sitting with that truth. Your options are limitless. No one has the power, right, to tell you that you have limited options if you reject that, if you build an internal system to reject. You can say it, but I'm going to reject it. You can tell me that I'm not good at this thing, but I'm rejecting it. No, because I know. Having like a deep internal sense of knowing who you are, what you bring to the table, your skill set, that no one can touch. That's your power. Lesson says those blinders have us tripping over each other. Yes. Yeah. Ooh, yep. Yes. These skills are mine. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes, Colette, please subscribe to Colette's channel, y'all. Let me link it here in the chat. If you are experiencing a toxic workplace, like I said, Colette's channel, Dr. Kamani's channel, invaluable resources, safe places, which again, why this channel is a safe place too, because I learned from other Black women creators how to do it. Creating safe spaces, which are so rare, especially during these times, for us to share what we're going through, get resources, hear from other people who have made it to the other side, whatever it is, so that you know that you're not alone and you can also do the same thing, right? When you see someone's journey and it inspires you, that also exists within you to make the same thing come true. And that's the power of sharing our stories. Because if you're just limited to what you can see around you physically, right? People may not be living the life that you want to live. They may not be traveling abroad. They may not be pivoting to freelancing, right? They may not be copywriting. Shout out to Kioka. They may not be moving to San Miguel de Allende. Shout out to Tracy. But it's very important to have a community, even virtually, right, online, to show you other people who have done it. So that you know that your options are not 1 through 5. No matter what messages you're receiving from people around you, from society, right? Messages that you've taken on over time that you don't actually believe, because there's something within you that knows that there's more. Right? And so that's why you may have been drawn to even like a space like this. You know something within you You know that you don't deserve to be harmed. And shout out to Alicia Renice, who just did a video on this, right? There's a feeling within us that cannot be silenced long term. That we're not here to be mistreated. No matter what messages we receive, no matter who is having a bad day and wants to take it out on us, right? Tell us that we're not nothing. There's something within us that's like, no, this journey was actually really hard to get into this body, to be a being on earth, to be able to soak up the sun. I had to go through a journey to get here. And so why would I just be here to be mistreated? When again, not everyone gets that messaging. This is targeted messaging to ensure continued oppression, right? To feel like your options are limited. It's real. Yeah, I wanted to read this comment. Yes. I was afraid to go to sleep because I didn't think I'd wake up. Yeah. That video that you did on No Job is Worth Your Life. Thank you. It was beyond impactful. Every Black woman should view it more than once. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah. Ooh. And like I said, turning my pain into passion, right? So this YouTube channel is a tangible result of me processing what I went through in that very harmful job environment. And then choosing, right? Leaning into, a lot of it was leaning into my younger selves, reclaiming those parts and choosing to go in a different direction. Because you have choice when you experience a very traumatic event, right? You can use it, right, in a few different ways, as we have seen, right? You can use it to continue the cycle of trauma that you experienced to other people, or you can use it to assist other people who are maybe at stage 0, right where you were at. And now you've made it to stage 5, and now you can help those people. Give them knowledge, understanding, resources, reflecting back. It's not you. To get them through this journey that you have now made it to step 5. Versus reenacting the cycle on someone else that traumatized you, that harmed you, that you're still trying to recover from. And so it's a conscious choice and decision. What will your pain be transformed into, right? Because pain is inevitable, right? Oppression is not inevitable. Pain is inevitable. And how can that be transformed, right? To assist other people, to provide resources, information, to help people get through that journey that you now have made it to step 5, knowing all the things that you encountered, all the hardships that you went through, all the tears that you shed, that you can now guide someone through that journey. And that's the power of transforming your pain into your passion. Yeah. So read through some comments here, y'all. Happy Tuesday. Hey. Yes. In the immortal words of Triple H, suck it. Mic drop. Thank you, Leslie. Yeah. Absolutely. Hey, Daniela Elevates. Yes, I've heard many content creators say that we should not participate in other people's attempt to oppress us. We can choose what we want. It's wonderful that more Black women are understanding this. Yes, I love that. That sentence right there. We can choose what we want, right? The power of choice. versus feeling like your choices are just here. 1 through 5, that's all you get. Why? Right? And the power of asking why. Which again, and I had an idea to do a video on this, right? When Black women ask questions in the workplace, that can bring up the most evil of behaviors. Because we're often like deeply in tune to things that are not either working well, that are unjust. And it's something about us asking questions, right? Because it gets to the truth of the truth that people are trying to conceal. It irritates people. It shakes things up. When again, you think of the foundation of the society is lies, us asking questions in these oppressive, toxic work environments often puts a target on our back. Because now you're trying to, like, from their perspective, now you're trying to reveal things that I was trying to keep secret. Let me write that down because that has been that's been something that's come up. Yep. Right. Yeah, Leslie says I'm not okay with asking permission to do what's right. The thought of that, having to ask permission to do what's right. Because the status quo is doing what's wrong. We see all of these systems kind of functioning this way. So when you want to do what's right, or when you have a question, why is this so wrong? The entire system is functioning on things being wrong. And it's externalizing what you're experiencing. Again, you are an oppressive system that you're surviving. You asking the question is not the problem. The problem is the lie that people want to conceal. That now your question is bringing up the truth that's making people uncomfortable around you. But you're not the problem. Your question is not the problem. Yeah, undervalued, underpaid, and overworked, yes. Yep. Lesson, yes, and we don't see the inherent gifts as skills. Those are still skills. Thank you for this, yes. The gifts that you come here with, the gifts that are bestowed upon you, those are skills too. Even if you don't have to work at it. That's another lie we're told, right? If it's not hard, it's not a skill. No, right? No, your gifts are skills too. And I just spoke with Leslie about this a few weeks ago. Yes. Yeah. Nubia says, yes, not on the team like they thought, and banding together to believe us was a bad idea, especially Black women, because no one will have your back like us, but we get stomped on the most. Yeah. Yep. Yep. When it comes to allyship, that could be a whole video topic. Am I ready for that on YouTube? I don't know. But it's real. Allyship. The lie of allyship. Yep. A lot of people thought that they could band together against us to be in closer proximity. But they after round and found out, yes. After round and found out recently, as is evidenced in the recent headlines, yes. Yes, y'all. So, yes, if you are interested in attending the second annual Job Liberation Virtual Summit, which will have over 15 Black women speakers over a 3-day period, right? So Friday is going to be like the kickoff day. with an incredible speaker who has meant so much to me. Kicking it off on day one with a meditation session, right, to center ourselves before we enter into the weekend, where we're going to be talking about healing from a toxic job experience or a job that's just not serving you, right? Because not every job is necessarily toxic, but if it's harming you in any way, know that you have the ability to pivot out of that. And that's not your only option. So healing resources, Dr. Kamani is going to be doing an Afro Flow yoga session, which I'm excited about. And day two will really be strategizing. So making your strategy on your timeline with incredible speakers that I'm excited to announce over the next few months, few weeks. So please get on the wait list if you're interested in attending. We had over 300 Black women attend last year globally. Like I said, this is a global issue, unfortunately. Experiencing workplace harm, being undervalued, underpaid, having your mental health shattered sometimes. In these work environments, Black women globally are experiencing this. So yes, please get on the wait list and look out for when tickets officially go on sale in the coming weeks, about 2 weeks. And we would love for you to attend, to be a part of, it's a movement. It's a movement of knowing that better exists for you. Knowing that you have options outside of toxicity. Again, that's a lie that's told to us, that we just have to put up with being harmed. No, there are so many other things that exist, different options that you can take, different pathways. And it's important to be able to have those resources in one place, which is what the virtual summit does. So yes, please get on the wait list. I'm excited. Thank you for this, Daniela. Yes, please like the live stream. I appreciate y'all for being here on the live. If you're watching the replay, let me know if anything resonates. If you are in the process of exiting, healing from a toxic work environment, let me know. I have learned so much from you all too, sharing resources, knowledge, your experiences. This is not just like a one-way thing. I learn, right? I'm in community too with you all. So anything that you can share, that you feel like sharing, please do. And know that I appreciate you. Yeah, just going through the comments. Okay, I thought so. Thank you. Yeah, this is a whole video topic. Please make it. I'll never be able to do it justice. Oh, no, I don't know about that last part, Leslie. But I appreciate you. Yes, I appreciate you. Writing down. We really do need a video on allyship. It's time. Is YouTube ready? Is YouTube ready? Because I have some thoughts. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Please do the video. Okay. I wrote it down. Yes. Okay. YouTube is ready, or at least I think so. Okay. Because these platforms, right, they have been an incredible hub for us to share resources with each other. But they're also like highly problematic in the way that they pay creators for the content that you create, in the way that they restrict what you can say, right? And the algorithm will suppress your video. Who runs the algorithms? That's another story, but it's real. But I hear you. I hear you. Yes. I don't have the link, Leslie. If you could put a link to my site in the chat for a free assessment to help anyone, let me link to your channel. Okay. Yes, please subscribe to Leslie's channel. I just spoke with her, and please go to that video too if you are interested in taking her skills assessment. Because yes, that's real. Taking ownership over your skills, absolutely. Love catching this convo. Came in late, but we'll watch the replay. Oh, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Yes. Okay. Okay. Allyship. Okay. Yeah, as I've shared with Alicia before, having ally awards at the toxic job that I was in, like literally as an ally, your role is supposed to be in the background, like in the back row in a theater, and you're not you're not supposed to be on the stage. But there was literally like awards for being an ally. And again, to see the hypocrisy, right? When I was experiencing harm, when people were making these comments to me in small group settings and no one spoke up, but there was supposed to be a culture of allyship. No, it didn't exist. And we're seeing the same thing that's happening right in the country as a whole. No. These things that we knew were not true, accurate, that have been lies being peddled, it's just come to be so clear. No, you're actually not on my side. You never were. Okay. Let me think about that video topic. Yeah. Okay, let me go through my notes. I think that's it. Let me know if you have any questions as I wind down today. It's been over an hour. I didn't know how long this was going to be, but if you are in the process of exiting a toxic work environment, a job that's not serving you, and healing from the aftermath, please make sure you're on the wait list for the 2025 Job Liberation Virtual Summit for Black women, happening May 16th through 18th. And it's linked in the description, and I'll link it here in the chat again. Again, over 300 Black women attended in 2024 from all over the globe. This is a global issue. This is a human rights issue. It really is a human rights issue, right? When we're talking about our mental health being compromised, our physical health being at risk in work environments in exchange for a paycheck. You have to sacrifice your life. That's the message that's told to us. And so many of us are pushing back because, again, our labor upholds all of this. And so pushing back on that, reclaiming our skill set, healing from trauma from the workplace and prior that may have shown up in the workplace, right? That may have told you that this is the only thing that you can be in, that has limited your options, that has given you tunnel vision and expanding your aperture. No, it's not. And that's the purpose of the virtual summit, right? To show you resources, knowledge from other Black women who have gone through similar experiences, so that you have proof that that feeling that you have within you, that this is not the only thing, that you don't deserve to be harmed, that you have something tangible to attach it to. Now I see, right? Now that feeling that I've been having, that I can't keep I can't turn it off. Now I have like the missing puzzle piece, which is another Black woman sharing her story, sharing her area of expertise to show me the pathway to get out of whatever situation I'm in, to make it to where I envision my life to be, right? Knowing that you have the power to create the life that you envision and not just the one that's sold to you. Okay, let's go through the comments. The tribe has spoken. I hear y'all. Thank you. Hey, Celeste. Good to see you. Yes, if you're interested in contract work, please subscribe to Celeste's channel, Reset with Celeste. Yes, she offers assistance securing contract work. Again, taking your skill set and pivoting whatever direction you choose. If you don't want to work a 9 to 5 and you just want to do contracts, time limited, move on to another contract, please subscribe to Celeste's channel, Reset with Celeste. Yes. And yes, that was a real thing. I thought you were just coining a phrase. No. Ally Awards was a real thing. It was. Yeah, it was. Yeah. And like I said, the misrepresentation. I haven't really shared the full scope. So after I submitted my resignation, I did like a LinkedIn post. And I may have to revive that, right? Because there was some fear injected into what I was doing. I quoted Zora Neale Hurston. If you're silent about your pain, they will kill you and say you enjoyed it, because they will. So that's how I started off my post, exposing what was actually happening, right? But there was some fear that was injected into that. So I took it down. That may have to be revived, right? If we're reviving a lot of things that we see over the past less than 2 months, if we're reviving those, then I may have to revive that post too, right? And put that out there for people to see. Because one of the things is like making sure that other people don't experiencing this, or like doing your best, right? To put out your experiences when you're ready to share them so that other people are aware of what's happening behind the scenes, because these workplaces exist with secrecy, right? And it's real. Yeah, so that I might have to revive that. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Daniela says Ally Awards. It sounds crazy. I'm so sorry you experienced that, Marissa. Yes. OMFG. Listen. Yep. Mm-hmm. Again, as an ally, you're supposed to be in the back row of the auditorium, right? And if someone needs your assistance, then you can raise your hand. You're not on the stage. And so the idea that you would ever receive an award, first of all, for doing what you're supposed to do in the first place, you're supposed to be an ally to people who are experiencing marginalization, just as a person. But to receive an award, disturbing. Right. And there are these red flags with organizational culture. And that was one of them. That now I recognize, like, ooh, uh-oh. Yeah. Giving yourself an ally award is beyond audacious. And that it is. That it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because again, you don't label yourself as an ally. That's not a self-imposed label. That's a label that's given to you, right, by members of whatever group that you are advocating for. You don't label yourself that and take center stage. That's literally, that runs counter to the whole idea of being an ally. Mm-hmm. For nada. Let's see. Yes. It was a wonderful hour. Trust that. I appreciate you in ways. Oh, I appreciate you too, Leslie. Thank you for this. I appreciate you in ways I cannot convey. Wow. Wow. That's very touching. Thank you. And same. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. It is. Yes. Yes. It is a human rights issue. And Carla, yes. Um, yeah. Someone I've spoken to. Yeah. Shout out to her too. Yes. Okay. You're welcome. Yes. Yes. Contract work. If you're interested in that and pivoting to that from a 9 to 5 role, exploring your options, please subscribe to Celeste's channel. Of course, I didn't ask the people who needed their allyship to nominate or vote on those awards. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Ibo says, love that Zora quote. Yeah, me too. And in today's climate, it is real. Yes. If you are silent about your pain, they will kill you and say you enjoyed it. They will. And so much of the fear that's generated, right? What if I speak up? Which is what I was experiencing, right? And not self imposed, it came from another party within the organization. Um, but yeah, that's real. It's so important for us to share when you're ready. The pain that you experience, both for you to process what you've been through, to externalize it. Because there's something about like when you put it out for other people to see, right? The self gaslighting that you may have been experiencing, how you may have been ruminating on it, when it's out there for other people to see, and they're like, I cannot believe that happened to you. It heals parts of us, right? That wouldn't have been healed if we just kept it inside, stored it in the vault, constantly ruminated on it, right? Well, maybe I could have done this differently, and maybe I should have said this a different way. When you put it out in safe community and people are able to reflect that back to you, no, that was actually really messed up. You didn't deserve that at all. It's like, oh, powerful reflection back, right? In the process of healing. Okay, Colette, hold on. What about sharing the LinkedIn letter on your YouTube community post? Are we be? I think I might. Yeah, I think bold is on my vision board for 2025. So I might do this. I might do this. You're giving me an idea. Thank you. Thank you. And that's why it's so important to be in like-minded community, right? Because people will give you ideas about things that move you in the direction that you see your life going versus being around other people who have no idea what you're talking about. It can feel so isolating. When you get into the right communities, yeah, it can propel you in a direction that you already see your life going in. And it gives you that external, like, okay, that push. No, I do need to be more bold, right? If we're going back, then some other things need to be revived too, right? If we're really on that, which we see in 2025, then let's go for it. Yeah. Thank you for this, Colette. Yeah. Leslie says that is so true. It's the plight of victims. They say we like it to justify bad behaviors. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. OMG, I just had a great idea for consultancy. One, yes, get paid to quit your job consulting. Help people strategically resign and transition to freelancing or new careers. I love that. And didn't you say that's your skill set too? Yes, helping people identify their skills to transition. Leslie, that might be you. Yeah. Yep. Yes. It's so true. But yes, y'all, as we are winding down today, I will be going live with Kamisha Jones Brandon of Sister Afia Wellness. We'll be talking about how we can heal together on her YouTube channel, which is linked on my YouTube community post tab. If you would like to join us Thursday at 12 p.m. Central, we'll be having that conversation. But yeah, just different things I'm thinking about as I continue to kind of transform this deeply painful, disorienting experience of a job that misled me, that underpaid me, that lied to me, and transforming that into a passion to help other Black women experiencing the same thing with the Job Liberation Virtual Summit that I'm co hosting with Dr. Kamani. Yeah, just sharing different things that I'm coming across, that I'm learning, right? About myself, about the systems that we live in, systems of oppression, how we can continue to get free from the limited messaging options that are handed to us and expand our aperture. Because there's so many things that you can do that you've already done. You've already done. So, yes, y'all. Yes, that's you, Leslie. Yes, I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you for being here. If you're watching the replay, please like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe to my channel. Share this with another Black woman who would find this healing helpful. And please make sure you're on the wait list for the upcoming 2025 Job Liberation Virtual Summit, which I will be co-hosting with Dr. Kamani, second annual. Again, we had over 300 Black women attend in 2024, and we're hoping to have at least 1,000 Black women attend this year. Especially during these times, we need resources, we need knowledge, we need safe community to be able to process the trauma that we have experienced day in, day out, in these highly traumatic workplaces that require or that actually like exist on, right? Operate with our labor. We need spaces like this. So that is the purpose of this virtual summit, to provide you with practical ways to heal, strategize, plan your exit on your timeline. So yeah, please get on the wait list. And I appreciate y'all for being here. And thank you, Danielle, for being here as well. Appreciate you. Great live stream. Thanks, everyone. Thank you too. And until next time, y'all. Bye. Thank you.